Bonjour à toutes et à tous et bienvenue pour cette deuxième journée du Challenge Prince Albert II, journée consacrée en ce dimanche matin au sprint sur quelques 500 mètres ici dans le magnifique port de Monaco. On se réveille avec une magnifique lueur ce matin avec mes acolytes à mes côtés, Patricia, Yuri. Bonjour à tous les deux.
Bonjour Thomas.
Bonjour toi.
On a eu du spectacle aujourd'hui, on a eu du spectacle hier, aujourd'hui ça va être pareil avec ce classement qui commence à se profiler, même si rien n'est joué. Évidemment, la Team Philippi Performance qui a fini donc en tête hier du classement, la Team Philippi Côte d'Azur en deuxième position et Kangwa Galaxy en troisième position. Évidemment, Patricia, rien n'est joué aujourd'hui. Il va y avoir du spectacle et voilà, chacun va essayer de défendre sa place à juste titre.
Effectivement, et c'est très différent. Hier, on avait de l'endurance en aviron de mer sur la mer, effectivement. Aujourd'hui, on est dans le port avec du sprint. Alors, on pourrait se dire que les rameurs d'aviron classiques, comme on l'appelle, auraient un avantage, mais ils ne sont pas habitués au sprint non plus. En fait, parce qu'eux, ils rament sur 2000 mètres généralement. Donc, il y a aussi les rameurs de beach sprint qui, eux, font du sprint. Donc, on a des combinaisons qui sont très intéressantes dans les bateaux. Des gens qui n'ont jamais fait d'aviron de mer, d'autres qui sont des spécialistes d'aviron de mer. Les bateaux sont différents, ils sont plus lourds. Un barreur, on voit plus en aviron classique, sauf en 8. Donc, évidemment, ça reste très, très, très ouvert. Et on attend ça avec impatience.
So maybe some words about the program today. The time trial, what is it exactly? How is it working?
So we will have the 24 crews that will race against the clock. It's a time trial. And according to the times out there, we will have two blocks. Positions 17 to 24 will race together. So the first 4 races from 9:55 onwards. And then afterwards, we'll have the best 16. And there it's a knockout. So knockout, it means it's a little bit like tennis. When you are the runner-up, you don't continue, the other one continues, and so on. But there is something else. For the ones who didn't win their knockout, it's the times that will be of importance for the final ranking. So it's a little bit complicated, but you'll see once it started, it will be perfect. And we see a beautiful shot there from the starting pontoon with the 2 boats, because it will always be with 2. During the time trials, it will be 1 lane. 1 minute later, the other lane. So it gives time to the crew to go and prepare themselves and be ready for the start.
Yuri, what did you expect of today?
Well, I expect today very awesome racing. There are a lot of powerful men and women in the boats right now, and the conditions are pretty flat, so in the head-to-head races, the conditions are absolutely similar on the both lanes. So it's going to be fair racing, and it's going to be interesting to see absolutely international teams performing together in the same boats at the high rates and on the full watts. Definitely something to see, something to watch, and something to follow.
Et c'est vrai que Patricia le disait, ici on a des conditions absolument magnifiques en ce dimanche matin sur la Principauté. Quasiment de l'aviron de rivière sur le port de Monaco, alors que là les bateaux se préparent, vous le voyez à l'image sur le ponton donc, de départ avant le début de ce time trial d'ici quelques instants.
Et en fait, le départ sera donné dans l'ordre inverse du résultat de la course en 4 mixtes de hier. Donc pas le classement global, mais la course en 4. Comme ça, on sait un peu qui on peut attendre comme dernier, qui vont partir. Donc, c'est quand même un peu de stress. C'est chouette parce que ça met une autre ambiance, une autre vibe, comme on dit maintenant, dans ce genre de course. C'est très intéressant comme format grâce au Challenge Prince Albert II.
Ouais, tout à fait, c'est vrai que ça rebat un petit peu les cartes. Ça va être intéressant de voir ces équipages s'affronter et avec ces champions, ces championnes, ces Olympiens présents également à travers ces équipages. Donc c'est vrai que ça va être un très beau moment qu'on va vivre ensemble, évidemment vous en live et nous ici sur cette digue, sur ce port de Monaco. Donc on attend le départ d'ici quelques instants maintenant.
And also, we will be presenting the crews. Yesterday, we didn't have a lot of time to talk about all those outstanding athletes that came here. So today, we will take the time during the time trials to give you some information about their achievements in rowing up to now.
I would say that everyone who is here is for sure has to be honored to be mentioned, and just so the viewers that are not here, that they actually know who are in those boats, and we were seeing yesterday, and what achievements, what they are, the people in general, like how they are, and that behind every crew there are like living persons standing, and
passion.
And passion, for sure.
Like we all have passion for rowing.
Definitely. The first crew from the Veslački Club were already standing in starting position and waiting for the final call. In this team, there are a bunch of very legendary athletes who were across different countries, different World Championships and Europa Championships. One of them is still Andersen, together with Igor Boraska, Ilka Schröder, and Johanna Luise Kanwisch.
And just while we are waiting for those crews to appear there, we can see as well all the other crews that are waiting in the not the warm-up zone, but in the harbor, just lining up to go to the start. It's going to be quite stressful for them as well, because they know there's so much that depends on this. There are so many points still to be given. And I see, for instance, here the coach from one of the two Philippi teams walking back and forth, waiting for his team to perform. We should say that they are leading for the moment, Philippi Performance, but he is still a little bit anxious, as we can see here.
I'm pretty sure that Kurt Trier is one of these coaches who is just watching what the other crews are doing in order to see and maybe to look for some technical advantage for his crew. So the first crew is already on the way, and we are waiting them here in the finish line. Just to remind you, those are just a bit less than 500 meters that teams are about to accomplish now. and pretty short distance.
Yeah, and the second crew just started there. It's a crew from Runcorn Rowing Club. It's the only crew which is more or less the same as last year. 4 out of 5 are the same, with some who have been rowing internationally in classic rowing, like Sarah Parfait. But then she switched to coastal after the Olympic Games of 2020, where she participated in the 8. She's there with Rory Nolan, who was 6 in the quadruple scull at the latest 2024 World Rowing Championships. So it is coastal championships. And we have Davis Graham and Jess Leiden in this team. Here the Cox has a little bit less of a steering thing to do, but a lot on pushing the crews to get through.
I would say the main point of the Cox is just to keep your team motivated and to deliver all the watts that you saved from yesterday and to
If you saved.
If you saved, definitely.
Because also yesterday evening there was a party, and some of them went earlier to bed than others.
Well, let's say that is a little advantage, but who knows, maybe it is a disadvantage. The more you party, the less you feel. So for the sprint, maybe that's the thing what you would really need.
Yeah.
And at the start, it's already Team Col. No, it's not. This is Team Filippi Italia, together with Simone Martini and his crew. Very strong crew. They delivered some decent results yesterday, and now they're already on the way with those powerful strokes. Only on the 500 meters and already 200 meters in the race.
It's Colgan.
We have at the moment on our screens Team Colgan, the third crew that actually started with Bibi Colgan. And some Spanish crew with Manuel Fernandez, Amanda Gill, and Carlos Gonzalez just bring it to the end, and they are already in the last 100 meters and delivering the very solid stroke rate, and yeah, very decent crew that Bibi Colgan composed out of the elite athletes. On the start line, we have already the team from Austria, from Bregenz, from the Vorarlberg. It's pretty young crew with Messmer, Reimann, Julia Prag, and Anna, the very young crew, pretty new to the coastal world, but they are pretty sure motivated to perform and try to show that they are as well capable of delivering solid results incomparable to the world elite athletes.
And we have some technical issue now here, and we didn't see the team Koei rowing there. So they were also on the spot, and it is with Roberto Pusinelli, who is an Italian champion in beach sprint, together with Jan Dupuy, Viola, Patrigiani, Sena Yilmaz from Turkey, who did the quarterfinal in the PR3 in the mixed at the latest beach sprint final, and Johanna Rocha.
Look at those solid strokes by the team from Viking Breckens. Very, very powerful, very high rate, very decent way of rowing. It's already the 200 meters in the race. They are still stroking pretty high, but I think that the thing that they really need, because they are a bit weaker than those all big guys, so they have to stroke higher than the others, and they're doing a very decent job here.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that there are some club crews that come as well, not only big names put together to do the best results, but also some club crews that come and compete.
I would say that's exactly what we were talking yesterday. That exactly this difference is something that makes it very interesting.
And here we are already with Team Holland 2, with Adrie Middag, Dorien Stielma, Lieke van Nieuwenhuizen and Frank ten Berge and Mitchell Steenman. Mitchell Steenman, who has been rowing internationally since 2001, where he was in the junior team. But he is always here, and we really are very thankful to him. Even won in 2019 with Janneke van der Meulen, who is in another team this time.
I believe Mitchell is one of those people who are actually moving the coastal sport in Holland forward, and who started all this movement in the big scale, and actually contributing to the publicity and to the popularity of the coastal rowing in Holland in general. At the moment, we have another crew already on our screens. This is Team Mission Impossible with Violante Lamme, Tommaso Rossi, Ludovica Serafini, Sebastiano Pantecca, and coxed by Nicola Rizzi.
Yeah, also with impressive palmarès for some of them here. And we see, for instance, that Rosario Pantecca, he has been from 2018 to 2023 in the mixed at the World Rowing Championships.
I would say that is. I was racing with them in Palermo in the mixed squad at the beach sprints. So we won the first stage of the Filippi Cup. Was very fun racing. So those guys who are in this crew, they know how to sprint. So let's see where those efforts going to bring them later this day.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting to see the difference of technique in comparison with yesterday. Yeah?
Definitely, completely different race, different conditions, and in front of our screen at the moment we have absolutely fantastic crew from Team Austria, together of stroking by Leopold Wiesinger, followed by Alexander Chernikov, together with Henriette Ringleb and Luisa Altenhuber, and coxed by Hanna Engelmeier. The two of them are actually new to the coastal world, although they are not week one. Luisa Altenhuber was this year in Paris, representing Austria in the women's light women double, and Alexander was all the season spent in the men's eight, preparing themselves for the rest squad. Unfortunately, they didn't make it, but very powerful man. And let's see where they're gonna end up at the end of this day.
Yeah, actually, Luisa, she did already 2 Olympic Games, which is also
a very
quite
outstanding performance for that small country as Austria, and I would say very talented rower. Let's see how she likes the coastal scene, and we are happy to invite her here as well next year.
Here we are with Kangua Cosmos, who just started with Keelan Mannix, Federico Garibaldi, Chiara Halama, Chloe Briard and Peter Doyle, all quite experienced in coastal rowing. All of them already competed and did world championships. For instance, Federico Garibaldi, he was a world champion in Hong Kong at the 2019 World Rowing Coastal Championships. He was also world champion with his brother Francesco in the double in 2014. Sorry, so he started quite early in coastal rowing. And Chiara Halama, of course, we know her as well because she has a good palmarès in coastal rowing, where she switched to in 2021 after having a classic rowing career. And
on the way we have, I think this is the Team Filippi Elite with Under Martin together with Esther Brice Zamorano, Monica Dukarska, and Gonzalo Garcia Ferrero. Very strong crew, one of the really elite crews. Just to remind you, Under Martin together with his partner Esther, they just destroyed the field in the World Championships. They ended up third though, with a little unluck because Esther just lost her seat, but I'm pretty sure that they are one of the very strongest team here in the field, and let's see how they're gonna perform.
Yeah, and yesterday they were also very strong in the double mixed. We saw it, and it was really impressive. And they used to row together, so that's also an advantage. And we are here with Cerea Torino and Société Nautique de Monaco with Guillaume Blanc, Marco Farinini, Eleonora Nichifor, Irène Gattaglia, and Alexandre Montbazet. And they're also experienced in coastal, except for Irene Gattaglia, who has, I think it's her first coastal championship. She's still quite young. She participated in the under-23 at the World Rowing Championship this year. So it's a big step as well for her. And also Eleonora Nichifor is still a U23.
Well, that's very, very nice to see also regional and local teams competing with the world elite and comparing themselves to those old big guys. And I'm pretty sure that this is definitely a fun also to race on the home waters and to have this home water advantage.
And Cerea Torino, they also do a very nice event, the Silver Skiff, where you have, for people like me, vintage boats that can also participate.
So, and on the way, it's already the next team, Kangua from Portugal. Very strong team. We know Patricia Batista, Alfonso Costa, Dennis Costa, and Bruna Parente, and Cox by Giulietta Vincenot. Well, this is one of the strongest crews here. We saw Patricia Batista together with Alfonso winning the mixed double yesterday. They were also pretty strong at the European Championships, ending up fourth.
And it's interesting to see that Patricia Batista, she participated, for instance, in the YOG, the Youth Olympic Games in 2010, and then there was a gap. She didn't row internationally from 2010 to 2021, and she started again in beach sprint. So it's maybe it's a second career for her, a new turn.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's happy to be here and to be being racing and being successful. We see how high the stroke rate there, and they're gonna deliver decent results for sure.
And also another Olympian in this team, Alfonso Costa, in the lightweight men in the 2020 Olympic Games.
This is Dimitalia.
Rubinetti with Simone Martini, Martino Goretti, Kiri English Hawk, Sophie Sauer and Andrea Riva. So a lot of well-known names. For instance, Martino Goretti, he was at the 2012 Olympic Games. So again, we see that they did first a classic rowing career, and then he was also at the World Rowing Championships with Simone Martini. So they already know each other in coastal conditions, with other boats, with other technique as well, and other stroke rates.
And on the way, we have already Team Swift International together with Eskil Borg, Charles Cousins, Eva Karpinen, and Jessica Berra, and Cox by legendary Cox Ryan Gleamont. One just to mention that Ryan and Charles, they are reigning world champions in the beach sprint in the mixed squad. So those two definitely know how to perform at those levels, at those distances, and we see that high compact stroke rate, delivering just a high boat speed. And, I'm pretty sure that this is a team to watch also later this day.
Yeah, but also former classic rowers.
Definitely.
Charles Cousins was at the Olympic Games in 2012 in his own country. And did you see here we have the two men at stroke and the first two positions, and then the women. So we will look at this a little bit later when we have the knockouts.
On the way, it's already Team Ciaccolo, Canottiere, Saturni with Maria Lena Zebroni, Tommaso Vianello, Annella Cozzerini, and Andrea Licatosi, coached by Gabriel Camargo Ordi. Well, I mean, this is also one of the very strong crews in the field, with Annalisa Cazzarini being the bronze medalist from the 2023 in the mixed double, and silver medalist in endurance race at the World Championships 2024. Maria Elena Zebroni, she also was competing in the mixed quad, and I think they had also a medal this year in the quarterfinal this year. On the ways on our screens is Team Lithuania with Martina Kazlauskaite, Siri Christiansen, Gigamantes Kaliskanes, Dominikas Jankionis, and coached by Luce Perry. Very, very strong team from Lithuania. Those what that they have in this combination is just outstanding. Gigamantes just pulling 1,300 watts, top big watts. The Dominicas together with Martina, they were the world champions in the mixed double earlier this year. Gigamantes was third. So this is very, very skillful team in the sprint. And I'm pretty sure they're going to end up somewhere very high in today's medal table. We see all those very powerful strokes leading them towards finish.
And here we are with another very, very strong team, the Dutch Lion Swift team, with Caroline Florijn, nobody else than the reigning Olympic champion in the single scull, together with her brother Finn Florijn, who is also the reigning Olympic champion, but in the quad, together with Lennart van Lierop and Marieke Keizer, who was third at the Olympic Games in lightweights in the 2020. So amazing team, huh?
Well, we see how they depart, and the speed is just incredible. We see those powerful strokes that moves just with every single stroke that makes boats faster and faster. Well, they are all big guys, but we see that the stroke rate is above 40, and this is actually what you need as well to be fast on this short distance. Just to remind you, it's less than 2 minutes what they need for this distance of 500 meters. So it's a very, very anaerobic and probably very hard distance to go.
Yeah, because your body is not used to it. Huh?
Yes.
So you really have to do a big effort, even if you are Olympic champion.
On the screens, we have a very interesting crew from St. Andrews coming all the way from Scotland here, and with some big names here, with Sam Scrimger, Cameron Bucket, Heather Gordon, and Megan Huysen, and coached by Tia Singh. Well, who will we start here? The Sam Scrimger, together with his partner Laura McKinsey, they were a 2023 silver medalist at the World Championships beach sprint finals. And this year they were also the silver medalist at the European Championships. So very strong guy, one of the fastest in the single scull in the coastal community in the GB. Cameron Bucket, as we mentioned already yesterday, with his own mission to improve and to popularize the rowing community and to the guy who is trying to maintain this culture as well between younger and wider public. Heather Gordon was rowing with Charles Cousins earlier this year and becoming a world champion in the mixed quad in Genoa. So very strong team, very skillful one. They do a lot of coastal rowing, at least I think 1 or 2 times a week they in coastal boat. So they know how to move those kind of boats, and first of all how to move quad as well.
And it's interesting to see that there is a combination of experience and youth in the team here. And maybe also good to say they have a good supporter team here.
The next one on course is Team Kangoo Italia with Matilda Barrison, Guglielmo Melegari, Giulia Mignemi, and Giovanni Melegari. Coxed by Fabio Siracusa.
A lot of experience in coastal in Italy. Some of them that participated, all of them participated internationally in world championships, some with some medals, a lot of participation in Italy as well. The two brothers together in the boat.
On our screen, it's just such an imaginable picture, like with this just giant yacht behind it. And, like we think that the quad is big, but those boats are even bigger.
Yeah, but they don't move as fast.
That's true.
At the moment.
That's true.
And powered by nature for rowing. We don't pollute, which is also very important to say.
But what I was thinking? Actually, I think in Laguna you're allowed to row only or to go only 5 kilometers per hour, but we are faster. So actually, are we breaking the rules here?
Don't say. And here we are with one of the top teams as well in names. Not a lot of experience in coastal rowing, but what names you have here with Valent Sinkovic, 3 times Olympic champion. And here is rowing with Maya Cornu d'Anjou, Ivana Jurkovic, who is still quite young as she participated in the U23 a little bit earlier, Dino Rupcic, and they are coxed by a local, Clara Stefanelli. Powerhouse in the middle.
Well, look at that. How they're moving the boat forward. Kind of like a pretty nice style of rowing they're delivering here. And yeah, now we're following up the... No.
Oh, they come back.
Now in our screen there is Team Filippi Italia with Stefania Gobi, Stefano Oppo, Matteo Della Valle and Federica Cesarini, and coxed by Alessandro Calda.
Matteo Della Valle, who was at the latest Olympic Games in Paris in the 8, and also Stefania Gobi, who was 2 times at Olympics. 2024 and 2020.
Federica Cesarini was the fastest beach sprint scholar in Italy, so very strong one. And on the way...
And let's not forget, Stefano Oppo, who is silver medalist in 2024, with Gabriel Soares, who we will see in another team.
Well, that's going to be very interesting. And on the way is already Team Kangoo Galaxy with Janneke van Muren, Adrian Miramon Quiroga, Karin Roberts, and Jan van de Beek. And this is one of the legendary crews from the coastal world, because Adrian Miramon Quiroga, absolute legend, multiple times world champion, as well in the beach sprint, as well in endurance. Karin Roberts together with Janneke van der Muren, world champions in the double scull silver medalists from this year. Janneke van der Muren was also world champion in 2023 in the women's single. So very, very well-decorated team.
Yeah, which means also that we are moving in the 3 top teams in the quad yesterday. They ended third in the quad yesterday, and they are third overall at the moment. So,
Well,
yeah.
Those actually the 3 teams that are already fighting for the medal standings and trying to establish themselves and to secure themselves at high ranking. On the way is already the Team Filippi performance with Katarina Lobnik, Magdalena Lobnik, Chris Beck, and Davide Mumulo. This is the leading team in the general standing at the moment. Absolute legends in those teams, with Chris Beck being the reigning world champion in the men's single, Magdalena Lobnik, world champion in the women's single, together with her sister Katarina Lobnik. They were world champions in the women's double, and David Momola, silver medalist in the single sculls in endurance race earlier this year. David Momola was also a spearman for the Olympic Games for the Team Italia. So very powerful crew. We're gonna be happy to see them standing somewhere top.
Yeah, we finish here with the winners of yesterday's mixed quad. Team Côte d'Azur, they were a little bit unlucky in the double mix because they broke an oar, which makes that they are second in the overall ranking at the moment, but nothing is said. With all the points they can still get today. I'm really looking forward to this with Elodie Ravera, Scaramozzino, Gabriel Soares, Quentin Antonielli, all 3 were participating at the Olympic Games this year. With Gabriel Soares, we talked about him earlier, a second in the lightweight men. And here they row with Gaia Umbra Cialvini, who has been rowing as well at the World Rowing Coastal Championship with Quentin. So they know each other, they are well coordinated together. And the cox is Thomas Obel, who has also been the cox at the European Coastal Championship. So you can see also a different technique here. The 2 men in the front, the 2 women in the bow. So when they finish, we will have the times of everybody, and then the jury will have to put them in the right order to get them into the races that will continue afterwards from 9:45 onwards. But in the meanwhile, look at this, how beautiful rowing can be when it's performed at its best in one of the best locations.
That's for sure one of the best locations to be rowing in, and with all those sceneries, with all this background. Look at those top pictures, just to give you a certain feel how big are the boats around. And you know, I would say this is definitely a unique place to be. There is no other regatta in the world where you can experience those yachts, those super yachts, really like 15 meters away. So awesome.
And you can see that it's a tough, it looks nothing. It's only 500 meters, you could say. But what if 500 meters? I think lactate must be quite high when they arrive.
The unofficial results, just to give you a rough understanding, is about 1 minute 38 seconds. This is pretty fast times. You know, it's much shorter than you might think, but this 1:38 just hurts. It's 100 seconds to hell, I would say.
Exactly. No. For me, it's concept of hell. Okay, so we will leave you for a moment, and we will come back when we have the races sorted out. You can still see some boats there, replays in the harbor. And we'll come back at 9:50, I guess, for the first race. So the race is for positions 17 to 24.
Tout à fait. Rendez-vous d'ici donc 9h55. À tout à l'heure.
Oh, moi je veux bien.
Hi, I'm Eva Karppinen from Finland, and I'm rowing here at the Swift International team.
And Karppinen is a well-known name.
Yes, my father has won 3 Olympic medals, so yeah, that's about it.
And why did you do coastal?
I just like the big waves, and also endurance is my strength, so I just fell in love with the open water racing.
You do a lot in Finland?
Just, quite a lot. We have a big, the Baltic Sea is right next to us, so we have a lot of opportunities there. So yeah.
And you have an international team. How is it?
It's a lot of fun. So we have one Swede, France and the UK, so quite a good mix. So I'm looking forward.
Did you train together?
Yes, yesterday, this morning and today, so that will be it.
So we wish you all the best. Kiitos.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stefano.
Le prince Albert Ier de Monaco s'est dévoué corps et âme au développement des sciences de la mer. Né marin, il y est resté toute sa vie.
C'est en 1906 que le prince Albert Ier, l'un des plus ardents promoteurs de l'océanographie moderne, crée l'Institut océanographique, fondation reconnue d'utilité publique. Navigateur passionné et défenseur visionnaire des sciences au service de la paix et du progrès, il souhaite concevoir un outil au service de la connaissance de l'océan. Le musée océanographique de Monaco voit le jour en 1910. Et 1 an plus tard, la Maison de l'Océan ouvre ses portes au cœur du quartier latin, à 2 pas de la Sorbonne et du Panthéon. Ces 2 établissements emblématiques permettent aujourd'hui encore à l'Institut océanographique de mener sa mission de connexion entre l'homme et l'océan, en rassemblant la communauté scientifique, les décideurs et le grand public. La Maison de l'Océan est aussi un hub dédié à l'océan et à l'environnement, rassemblant décideurs politiques et économiques et acteurs de la société civile. Le musée océanographique est un lieu de culture et d'échange avec le grand public où convergent les expériences autour de la protection de l'océan à travers ses collections, ses expositions et son aquarium. Dans la droite ligne de l'engagement du prince Albert II pour la protection de l'océan et de la nature, des événements fédérateurs sont organisés avec nos partenaires, le gouvernement princier, la Fondation Prince Albert II ou le Centre scientifique de Monaco. Par exemple, la présentation du rapport spécial du GIEC sur l'océan et la cryosphère face au changement climatique au musée océanographique. La Monaco Blue Initiative est une plateforme de prospective et d'initiative et offre un cadre unique d'échange. Entrepreneurs, scientifiques, politiques et acteurs du secteur privé préparent ensemble la gestion durable et la conservation de l'océan. Les grandes médailles Albert Ier récompensent chaque année de grandes personnalités qui, par leur engagement et leurs travaux, contribuent à faire connaître, aimer et protéger l'océan. Pour émerveiller et mobiliser ses 650 000 visiteurs annuels, le musée océanographique de Monaco propose une expérience unique, combinant le vivant, l'art et la science, aujourd'hui complétés par les dernières technologies numériques. À l'instar de Monaco et l'océan, un espace digital dédié à l'engagement des princes de Monaco en faveur de la protection du monde marin, et d'immersion, un dispositif interactif, point d'orgue de l'exposition Mission polaire permettant aux visiteurs de plonger à la rencontre des espèces emblématiques des pôles. En dévoilant la beauté et la richesse du monde marin, l'Institut océanographique fait naître l'intérêt et l'engagement en faveur de l'océan. Près d'1,5 million de personnes pourraient ainsi être sensibilisées aux enjeux des régions polaires, soit près d'1 demi-million de jeunes. Ce concours, destiné aux collégiens issus de milieux défavorisés et réseaux d'éducation prioritaire, accompagne les classes et leurs professeurs dans la découverte du monde marin, afin de leur permettre de concrétiser un projet collectif, créatif et engagé en faveur de l'océan. Le Club Océano propose aux plus jeunes une semaine de jeux et d'activités centrées sur l'océan et les animaux qui les peuplent, afin de les sensibiliser à sa protection. Aussi, investi depuis de nombreuses années dans des actions de conservation et de reproduction à travers son centre monégasque de soins des espèces marines, l'Institut océanographique a mené une étude inédite sur les hippocampes mouchetés dans les eaux monégasques. Et protéger les espèces animales de terre comme de mer est un enjeu majeur pour l'Institut océanographique. L'accueil de tortues sillonnées, espèces aujourd'hui menacées, au sein du musée océanographique, a permis un grand nombre de reproductions tout en sensibilisant les visiteurs à l'importance de leur préservation. 46 tortues juvéniles ont ensuite été transférées au Sénégal afin de renforcer les populations sauvages de cette espèce. Connaître, aimer, protéger. L'Institut océanographique permet à chacun de vivre l'océan.
My head in the clouds, I don't know where we go. I feel like it's changed.
Et nous revoici ici en baie de Monaco pour le ranking race qui va commencer d'ici quelques instants, quelques minutes avant de voir s'affronter les plus beaux équipages. Et justement ces équipages, les plus rapides, les teams les plus rapides, quelles sont-elles? Qui a été le plus vite sur ce time trial?
Je remonte sur les résultats. C'est le team Kangoo Galaxy avec Janneke van der Meulen, Adrian Miramon, Jan van der Bey, c'est leur barreuse Dieke Vetter qui ont été les plus rapides sur ce 500 mètres, suivi par le team Philippi Performance. Donc de nouveau, on voit les mêmes. Team Croatia qui est remonté en troisième là sur ce 500 mètres. C'est un peu normal hein, avec les watts, comme dirait Yuri, qu'ils ont dans le bateau. Ensuite, Kangoo Italia, Philippi Côte d'Azur en 5e position. Je ne sais pas jusqu'où vous voulez aller. On a ensuite Team Dutch Lions, Swift, Team Lithuania Rowing et Swift. Un peu surprenant qu'il soit que 7e là. Team Philippi Italia, Team University of St Andrews, une très belle performance en 9e position. Team Kangoo Portugal, 10e. Philippi Elite, 11. Rubenetti en 12. Circolo Canottieri Saturnia en 13. 14, Team Kangoo Cosmos. Et ensuite, en 15, Team Swift International. Bizarre qu'il soit si loin. Team Mission Impossible. Et ça, ce sont ceux qu'on va retrouver dans les 8e de finale. Ensuite, maintenant, on va voir les courses pour les places 17 à 24 avec Team Austria, Team Koei, Viking Bregenz, Team Monaco Cherea, Team Holland 2, Team Colgan, Team Runcorn et Veslaki.
Donc là, on entame les duels. How it will work this dual race? Donc on est en face à face, deux bateaux qui se font face à face sur ces courses.
Ce sont des head-to-head races. Et donc on va d'abord avoir donc les positions 17 à 24, so 17 to 24, that will race against each other. And then they are ready with these races. And they will be ranked in the time that they will do now, races that are called A, B, C, and D. Then we will have the head-to-head with the 8th of final. And like it is in tennis, the ones who will win will go to the quarterfinal, and then to the semi-final, and then to the final. And the others are knocked out.
Yeah. Maintenant, on a le programme. Il n'y a plus qu'à. J'imagine que là, the rowers are ready in the starts.
They already departed, I would say, even more. And now, actually, the actual racing is about to happen. And as you see that, if you see the opponent on your right or on your left, you're already motivated and to outperform the other crew. You see already your position, and this is something that that some of the rowers who cannot really perform at the time trial gives additional advantage to see their opponent as a pacemaker and try to push every single stroke a bit further. And you know, centimeter by centimeter, they're just moving forward and trying to get in front of the opponent.
Yeah, very nice shot here from above with the drones. And you can see that there will not be a big difference. And that's what we will see in most of those races, especially as we will move to the semi-finals and the final. There, expect really something really, really tense.
And as you see that the difference in times between those crews was much bigger than it seems at the moment, because at the moment it's less than a half a meter between those two boats. Maybe half a meter, maybe a meter, absolutely nothing. And this is actually where this format head-to-head is starts to be really very exciting to watch for you.
Also, it's a shorter format, and you can see everything, which is also quite impressive for the spectators who are here, and also for the people who are watching online. And it's really difficult to say who will take it here, because we don't see the finish line as it is there. So let's wait. We had the impression, wow, I just heard the two toots, and they were really close together. So it's up to the jury to tell us who did win this one. And who did take the second place.
That was definitely a close finish, but that kind of finishes we're about to watch during this day, and the stronger the team gonna be, the closer gonna be the gaps, and the more important it's gonna be just to concentrate on every stroke and to give everything you can on every stroke.
Look at the split between the two. It's really nothing, as we could see. And also times are quite impressive for coastal rowers.
I would say that those are decent times for sure, and just to remind you that the difference in the time trial between those two teams was much more than half a second, and at the moment when it's head-to-head, when you have your opponent, then it's just the gaps are getting so small just because you have a pacemaker and you exactly know where you stand. So,
but 51 hundredths of a second, it's nothing. Eh?
It's like a
wink.
Yes.
And that's it. No, nice racing.
Look at these starts, what they delivered. Two crews departed pretty clean and put them in very good position for the whole race. And as we saw a bit earlier, the finish with a difference in less than a second.
And you could see that it was Mitchell Steinman who was at the stroke. He's the most experienced coastal rower here. So I guess that was also a choice from the team. We will see very different combinations in the different boats. They're getting ready for the second race, so race B, which will be between Viking Brabants and Team Colgan.
That's going to be an interesting race because in the time trials, the difference between those two teams were on paper at 4 seconds. But I'm pretty sure that the gap here going to be same as in the fast race. I don't think that the times from the time trial, you can compare them that proper.
And I would also like to thank the boat handlers there, the youngers that are trying to keep this boat. We have that in classic rowing as well, but they're not that heavy and they're not next to you here. It's quite a difficult job for them, but so important to make sure that they are well lined and they can relax and prepare correctly for the start. And we saw the red flag. Here they go.
Team Colgan, very experienced crew with a lot of Spanish guys who actually know how to row together with Bibi Colgan coming all the way from New Zealand here to compete with all those athletes. Just outstanding performance by this team. But we see that the young crew from the Viking Brabants doesn't give them any possibility to go in front and just keeping with them up. Just unbelievable performance by the Viking Brabants.
Yeah, and quite a high rating again. They didn't have that much time to relax between the time trial and now.
Absolutely
and they are really nearly lined up here. They're really on the same line. Look at this.
Absolutely not. And as we see that in this particular race, the distance between the boats is much shorter. So they almost can hear all the calls inside of the opponent boats, and it's just so close. And they can counter-react, they can counter-attack, and if they hear that the other crew goes high, then the other one can react as well. But at this moment in the race, I think they're just thinking how actually to deliver all those watts in order to bring their boat forward and hope to be just slightly in front. And as I said before, in the time trial, the difference was more than 3 seconds. And here we have already a gap almost of less than a half a meter. Such a great race here. Who's going to be the first?
And the time is also important because it will give you the ranking. We see the line. Boo.
I think it's going to be another photo finish. We are going to have to wait for the official results because from our perspective, it wasn't really visible who who is in front or who is in the back. Well, I think that everybody who was racing this kind of races are very happy to be here, first of all, and the second of all, that you are also not quite sure, are you in front, are you in the back, but we saw the faces of joy, and I think that is actually what it represents as well.
Exactly. And we're still waiting for the official result. It seems to be very, very close there. And we have the replay of the start. Look at all that power that you have to take in these short strokes that you give to get this boat running, because they're so heavy that you really have to give it all.
Definitely. And as we see, just unimaginable performance by both of those crews. And as I said before, I mean, the gaps from the time trials are nothing in those head-to-head races, because the stakes are high. Everybody just tries to push to themselves to the limit, and not to give any room, any space for opponent to get in front. And we see just such nice pictures.
Yeah, nice shots here, especially the drone ones. You can really see how these boats evolve next to each other, because we never really in a straight line, and there it's a little bit clearer, but still no result. So it means it was really very tight. Huh?
It was very tight. That's why we weren't really able even to see who was in front. It seems that Weekend Dragons might be a bit faster, but still, it's not true.
And the next race is already lined up. It really follows very quickly. They do about a little bit less than 2 minutes over this for these crews, and it's a gap of 5 minutes between the different races. That's why it's also so interesting, and never a dull moment at this sprint tournament from the Challenge Prince Albert II.
Well, this is already the third race. Well, it's gonna be between Team Corway Rowing and Team Runcorn Rowing Club.
Funny to see that 3 have their oars in the water, and 1 is still above, really above. We see also that on the opposite side, they're trying to have the boat lined up correctly. This is also the cox who is calling a little bit on starboard and a little bit, and then stabilize, and there they go. You saw the red flag that went down, and it is a flag that is important for the start. Huh?
So both teams already on the way. We see that that both crews departed pretty clean, although the Team Corway seems to be slightly in front. But I'm pretty sure that this is not gonna last long, and both crews are gonna be at the same position as it was in the races before.
And in the meanwhile, we got the result of the second race, of race B, and there it's not a split of 50 hundredths, but of 10 hundredths of a second between Bregenz and Colgan. So Bregenz first and Colgan second in this race B.
But that's what I would say, that this is exactly what sprint is famous for, because those are not endurance racing where you have the let's say the run time over 15 to 20 minutes, but they have only, let's say, 1 minute 50. So 0.1 of a second is just, yes, it's just close, but this is sprint.
Yeah, here it's a little bit less close, it seems, with these two teams, with Corway, Corway and Runcorn, and you see that there the difference is a little bit larger. It's two good crews, because they have quite good rowers in it. Corway is more experienced into the coastal and in sprint, so let's see what it gives.
That seems right now that the Team Runcorn won this. Team Corway Rowing rowing won this race by 4 seconds. It's not really a lot. It's not that close as it was in the lost races, but still very decent results from the both crews. Well, and the next is gonna be the very interesting race with Team Austria and Veslački Klub Val.
And that will be the last race for the time trial for the runners-up. And after this one, we will move into the 8th of finals.
Just to remind you that for those crews that were racing till now and the last one that is about to come, the racing stops after this race. For the other one, for all other crews, for all other 16 crews, it's gonna be a head-to-head with a tournament progression where the winner stays and fights in the next round. So the stakes in next race is gonna be even higher.
And it's also a question of being able to manage your power, because if you're in front, what do? Do you give it all, or you just control to keep a little bit of power for the next round? If it's very close, you have no choice. If it's a little bit larger, then you can have that choice.
I believe for some of the crews, there's gonna be no room for sparing any power. I think that they're gonna fight till the end and try to perform absolutely their best, and they gonna have to if they want to pass through to the next round.
But it's interesting to see that you will always be, for instance, the first against the 16 and then the second against the 15. So there might be differences there, and you might have some room to keep some thing. And some of them are still warming up here in front of us on the sea, and you can see how powerful they are. So race 10 is lining up.
Such a wonderful pictures we have here in the background, with all those big yachts and ships, and in the complete background with the city of Monaco. It's absolutely stunning views.
And we can also see that sometimes they're not really straight, or it might not be easy for the coxes to see exactly what is the straightest line. The red flag went up and down, and there they go. So it's Team Austria, Team Veslački Klub.
Well, as we see that Team Austria ended up in the time trial with a faster time, that is why they are the favorites for this race. But I'm pretty sure that the Veslački Klub, they're gonna try to catch with the Austrians up, and but the Austrians seems to have a bit more cleaner rowing than the other crew, and that may bring them in front. They're already leading by almost 1 boat length. And this pretty clean style of rowing just brings their boat faster and faster, and they're building up the advantage they won up till now. Absolutely fantastic rowing we see here in the background.
We should also maybe mention that Team Veslački is really a master team, so it's already a very good result that they are putting down here.
Yes, definitely they are. And they are delivering a solid performance in the Austrian team. They have very strong and very powerful people from the elite rowing, from the flat water rowing. The condition at the moment are very flat water like. The only difference is that the boat is just much heavier than the flat water boat. But as you see, they are stroking pretty short stroke, moving the boat faster with every single stroke. We see that they are not relaxing. They are trying to maintain the speed, to build up this advantage and to bring it home.
And they have to, because it's a time that they will put down here that will give their ranking, their final ranking. And you know, until the 19th, you have points. Afterwards, you don't. But very strong performance here for Team Austria.
as we see that all the athletes are just exhausted by this less than 2 minutes run, and you know, because they are not saving their power, they're trying to get as many points as they can in order to proceed in the medal table in the general standings.
And now we will move to the knockout, to the eighth final, where we will have, again, very interesting racing with very powerful teams. And yeah, I really look forward to this because it's so different from what we are used to. And it gives an extra excitement in every single race we will see.
Absolutely, you're right. And to remind all the viewers that from now on, it's already knockout racing. What does it mean? That only the winner stays and proceeds into the next round and gonna be fighting for the medals later this day. And if you're losing, then, you know, you cannot just lose with the worst time, or you can say, oh, we're anyways losing, and that's why we can relax. They have to push themselves because the main ranking gonna be done by their time. And that means that every second counts, every tenth of the second counts, as we saw in the time trial as well in the head-to-head races previously. So I'm pretty sure that there are gonna be absolutely not a single crew that can say, wow, we just lean back and we just go down.
Surely not with the runners-up, but maybe with the leading team. If they see they build a lead of 1 or 2 lengths, they might see how to control the race. It will be very tactical, and I guess they have been discussing this before the racing so that they know exactly how they're going to proceed and what they're going to do in every single possible combination.
To be honest, I don't think that the teams that are left now, that there are going to be just some easy races for any of those crews. As we saw as well in the time trials, there were some gaps, of course, but I believe that the gapping gonna get much, much closer.
Let's see. Looking forward to it anyway.
And already the first top 8 round is already preparing for their start.
And this is Team Filippi Italia against Team University of St. Andrews.
Well, as we mentioned before, that St. Andrews University team is very powerful, very skillful sprinters, so we expect them to be favorites in this race. Although the Team Filippi Italia, I mean, with Stefano Gobi, Stefano Oppo, Matteo Tella, Valle and Federica Cesarini, that is just still legends in the Italian sport, and they definitely gonna try to fight back. As we see that the Team Filippi Italia just got a slight lead, about 1 meter in front of the University of St. Andrews, but I'm pretty sure that there are almost 400 meters to go, 350 meters to go, and St. Andrews gonna pack all the parts they have and try to get in front of those Italians. Who knows, are they gonna make it or not?
This is halfway, more or less, with the boy there in the middle. And we can see that the lead now from Team Filippi Italia is about half a boat length, even a little bit more. And yeah, it's going to be tough, huh? If University of St. Andrews wants to continue the game here, they're going to have to give everything now.
Well, the St. Andrews University, they are putting some more watts at the moment. They have not that clean rowing as a team from Italia, but the Italian team, they are not building up this advantage they had from the start. They might be just slightly in front of the crew from the St. Andrews, but St. Andrews fights back and tries to catch them at the last 100 meters, and who knows who's gonna be first. Let's see. The St. Andrews, they are pushing forward, but Team Italia seems to be in the lead.
Yeah, I think it's a win for Team Italia if we heard correctly the buzzer, but a very good run as well for University of St. Andrews.
Well, and as you see that even if Team Filippi Italia got in front and they were faster, but you see that this was not an easy go. You see the exhaustion among those athletes.
Yeah, but don't forget that this run is the closest because there were 8th and 9th time in the thing. So they're really close together. So afterwards, the gap might change a little bit, huh?
Well, you think so? I don't think so.
Let's see.
You know, you might guess. I would say that I believe in Cruz. There are believers and haters. I'm a believer. Well, we have such a nice background shot at the moment. You see this wonderful scenery in the back. Just outstanding. Well, and already the other crews are standing on the starting line. And the next race gonna be between the Dutch Lions with Marieke Keizer, Finn Florin, Lennart. Oh, I'm sorry, with Team Kangua Portugal. Bruna Parente, Patricia Batista, Alfonso Costa, Denis Costa, and steered by Monegasque Cox, Juliette Vincenot. And they're gonna go against Team Lithuania Swift with Martina Kazlauskaite, Siri Christensen from Norway, Gigamantis Galeskanis, and Dominikas Jankionis. And those actually the crews that are already very, very strong, both crews, because as we mentioned earlier, the Lithuanian team just have those VATs, and the Portuguese team coached by Pedro Fraga, they just know how to row in the coastal boats. They train a lot in them, and that is why this gonna be definitely the race to watch, and I'm pretty sure that this one gonna be also one of the closest races.
It's also the 10th time against the 7th times of the time trial. But as you said, when you are head-to-head, you have another push because you are really next to it and you see them. And some teams are better at this. Some are very trained to do time trials because it's important as well for trials in your own country as well, because that's very often a way to select some national teams.
It definitely is, and I believe that the both crews are already preparing and gathering their thoughts and try just to relax and not to think about the mistake they might take. They just they just think, oh well, this is 150. And that is 50 minutes, and it's absolutely nothing. Let's just push through. And we're already on the way. The both crews departed pretty clean, had a pretty clean start. And we see all those powerful strokes from both crews. The Team Lithuania with all those unbelievable powers, just delivering outstanding performance at the moment. But the gap between both crews is absolutely nothing. After 150 meters, they are almost even, and absolutely no different between those crews. Let's see how they're gonna perform in the second part of the race, where that's where it starts to count.
Yeah, and they are nearly at halfway, and as you say, it's still pretty close there. I believe there is a slight advantage for Lithuania, but this is difficult to see. But they are fighting back. The team Kangua Portugal is fighting back, and it will really be at the last strokes that we will see who will proceed to the next round and who can relax.
This is exactly the time they have to find all this rest what they were hiding all the day, all the weekend, and to move their boat just in front of their opponents. It's less than a second between those two boats, maybe 1 meter between them. Who's gonna be the first in this race? It's still unclear. It seems like
Lithuania, I would say, but without a lot of security, because we're trying to look at it in live at the moment.
I think we would need the official result by the jury
Exactly.
with the photo finish, because otherwise it's just unimaginable to judge.
Yeah.
Well,
You can see how exhausted they are. It's
Definitely.
such a heavy and a difficult exercise, because it's nearly anaerobic all the time. You start fast and you go faster.
It's
as
all the time.
Yeah,
It's all the time.
really, really tough.
well, that was exactly the racing we came here for, and yes, definitely, both crews can be happy with their result.
And we're looking for the official result, which is not there yet. We already have one time, but we'll wait until the next one to give you exactly. But it was faster than the previous one, than the previous race.
Well, as we see that was definitely like the whole race, just in between of 20 centimeters,
Yeah.
30 centimeters difference between those both crews. Is like from the point of view of the rower, you absolutely have no idea. Are you in front? Are you in the back? So the only thing you can do is just watch in front, watch your teammates just out in the boat and just deliver the best you can.
And I would say you shouldn't know, because you have to be concentrated, you have to be in your boat. It's the job of the cox to give you the needed information. And the cox is then in relation with the stroke, and they can decide what to do. Also, I think the only thing to decide to do is to push as much as you can.
I think as well, there is absolutely no choice. Well, on the start, we have already two next crews, and those actually two absolutely legendary crews. On the one side, we have the Dutch Lions together with Finn and Caroline Florijn, together with Marieke Keizer and Lennart van Lierop. And on the other side, we have Team Filippi Elite with Monica Dukarska, Gonzalo Garcia Ferrero, Ander Martin, and Esther Brice Zamorano, and cox by Sergio Lopez. Well,
Wow.
That's going to be also a hell of a ride. I'm already looking forward to see the outcome of this race, because we have Olympic champions in the one boats and the absolutely legendary people from the coastal water in the others. So it's going to be also very, very tight. It doesn't matter if those are 11th and 6th time. It's going to be very close race, and you're going to want to watch the outcome.
And in the meanwhile, we got the result from the previous one with a win for Lithuania rowing Swift with a gap of 23 hundredths of a second to the team Kangua Portugal.
That was absolutely fantastic race. We saw previously very close racing, as you see. 200ths of a second is less than half a meter, and on this distance, and absolutely nothing.
What is gonna be the quarters, the
It's
semi, and the final?
what they call it's
Wow.
gonna be carnage.
You
It's
like
gonna
that
be
word?
I love it, because the brutality of the strokes just gonna be outstanding. Because this is a quad. This is not a single. This is not a double. This is a quad. That's where the watts counts, and every single watt that you can deliver is gonna be one of the deciding points between the loser and the winner of the round.
And we're waiting for the start of the next one with the Dutch Lion Swift and Filippi Elite.
Last preparation of both crews, just trying to find the perfect line before the start, so they don't have to steer that much. We see that the guys are joking just in the boat, so they are enjoying their time. The last minutes of joy, then it's going to be a very, very, I would say, intensive 2 minutes.
And you see that there is a different tactique in the two boats. For the team Filippi Elite, you have a women the two powerhouse men and the women, while the Dutch Lion Swift decided to do the two men in front and the two women at the back. This gives a little bit less weight at the back. Is that maybe the reason? I don't know, but we'll try to ask them when we have the opportunity.
Well, we see also here two different boat manufacturers, Philippi and Swift, and they are already departed. Very clean start by those both teams. Team Philippi Elite seems to be in slightly lead, but I'm pretty sure that the Dutch Lions gonna fight like real lions and try to catch all those Spanish opponents. Well, it's going to be a fantastic race. We see that that both crews are stroking very high rate, delivering the biggest outcome of the what can possibly imagine. Well, it's gonna. I think at the moment we have Team Philippi just slightly in front, but this lead is absolutely nothing in less than a meter.
And we'll have to see how they can come back. And I have the impression that they are fighting back. Team Philippi Elite did a very strong start, but now it seems a little bit more fluid in the Dutch Lion Swift team that is coming back with every stroke.
Dutch Lions just fighting like a lions. They are delivering such an awesome performance. They are coming back, and it seems from this perspective that they might be already in a slight lead. We see that Ander Martin just tries to push everything he can, but it seems that it's slightly not enough. But let's see what's gonna be in the finish line.
Yeah, you can see the body language, and you can see the difference. Look at the stroke rate of the Dutch Lions. Lighter rowing, and they are in front at the moment. Will they be able to keep it? Because the elite Philippi is trying to strike back.
Well, it's going to be a very close finish. The Dutch Lions just fighting back. They're absolutely in no lead. And it seems that the Team Philippi just got slightly in front on the last 5 strokes. Such an amazing finish.
Yeah, and look at the body language. It's so tough racing. Looking forward to the result here. It was really difficult because we're not in the line and we're not straight on the line, so we cannot tell you who it was. We have to wait.
But what is the interesting progression of the race? The early lead by the Team Philippi, and then they come back, they fight back from the Dutch Lions, and then a final sprint from the Team Philippi might brought them in front. Just such an amazing race.
We don't have the result yet. Really looking forward to it.
Well, you see all those faces, all those exhaustion, what we can see, and you know that is absolutely not an easy job. Those 2 minutes are absolutely destructive. They are brutal, and that's what makes the sprint very interesting.
Yeah, I think they really give everything. I'm looking forward to see whether they can have a better time even in the next rounds, because they seem to be so fighting for the millimeter, for the quarter of a second, for hundredths of a second, that you wonder, do they still have something in them to be able to go faster even? Still no result. Yes, we have it. And it's a win for Team Philippi Elite with 32 hundredths of a second. Wow. What a performance here. And the times are going down and down when we see from the previous rounds.
Next on the line, we have Team Rubinetti with Team Philippi Côte d'Azur. Well, it's gonna be also a hell of a ride because we have so many well-decorated people in this run. Just unbelievable. Team Philippi Côte d'Azur with a local matador, Quentina Antonielli, together with Elodie Rivera Scramazino, and together with Gabriel Soares, one of the legends of the Italian sport, silver medalist from the Olympic Games, and Gaia Umbra Ciavini.
And they started already. And whoa, there is one team that really went fast out of the starting block. Look at the difference here.
Well, Team Filippi Côte d'Azur seems to willing to decide this race in the first meters of the race, and as we see, they are already leading by almost half a boat length. They're delivering an awesome performance, very clean departure, very clean start, just bring them in the perfect position for this race. But the team Rubinetti is just trying to keep up and maybe to unpack some hidden watts, some hidden jokers in their shirt. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. The quick, the start that from Côte d'Azur that was so quick that they immediately went away. And then it's tough when you are fighting to come back, when you don't see them anymore. That's also the point. They are more than a boat length ahead, so Team Rubinetti can't see them anymore, except for the cocks as well. But psychologically, this is tough.
Well, Team Côte d'Azur are already leading by a bit more than boat lengths, bringing them into the next round. And let's see are they gonna be able to maintain this lead? But as it seems, they are bringing it pretty clean victory home.
And you have the impression that the strength, the power has gone down a little bit in the team Filippi Côte d'Azur because they were leading so far, and there was no way for the team Rubinetti to come back in these last 100 meters.
I believe that is exactly something you was mentioning before. Then that's already the tactics that the teams are trying to do here, just in order to save another rest of the energy for the next round, because just to remind you that later on each is going to be the quarterfinals, the semifinals and the final. So if you want to be in the first two crews, you have to have a certain tactics in order to save some energy for the rest of the day.
But what clean racing and rowing we have here. Look at those replays where you see it. And they really took an early lead. I think that was it. They tried to take as much lead as they can from the start and then go and try to relax a little bit, because you can't just let it go. You still have to give some power, but you can have a tempo, a rate that is a little bit lower. Wow.
Well, in Team Côte d'Azur are just absolutely fantastic rowers, with Elodie being competing at the Paris, with Quentin competing in the Paris. So very, very powerful team. We saw yesterday the mixed squad. They made such a comeback after the unlucky mixed double race. So it's going to be very, very interesting how they're going to perform today.
And let's not forget Gabi Soares, silver medalist at the latest Olympic Games.
That is one of the top crews here on the course.
Next race is Team Cangua Italia against Team Circolo Canottieri Saturnia. And my guess is that as we go further, we will see some differences in the teams again, because the times in the time trials were different, were more spread.
Well, I would say no. Because, you know, it's less than 2 minutes. You know, every stroke counts. And if you make just a little failure, it might cost you the victory. And already the next race is already on the go. We have a very clean departure from Team Cangua Italia. The Team Canottieri Saturnia just slightly behind, but those though athletes, they are very experienced speed sprint athletes because Tommaso Vianelli and Maria Zebroni, together with Annalisa Cottarini, they know how to row the sprints. So they're gonna try to fight back and deliver this outstanding performance. But it seems that at the moment they're slightly back.
Yeah, it's nearly one boat length now, and we didn't reach halfway yet, and they're increasing their lead. We will see the same as in the previous round, where they can then have a little bit of the last strokes that are a little bit lighter, so that they can relax a little bit.
It seems a pretty nice lead for the Team Kango Italia. But we see in our screen Maria Elena Zebroni just trying to find this connection to the opponent boat. But it seems like the Team Kango just went in front and nothing stands in their way to proceed to the another round. Such an amazing rowing we see from the Team Kango at the moment. Such a nice shots. Look at this synchronity, what this team achieves. They maintain the boat speed and bringing it absolute victory home and moving themselves, proceeding to the next round.
Now, I wonder, will they stay on the water? They will go and have a little bit of a paddle just to relax a little bit before they can go to the next race. Because you need to keep in movement, otherwise your lactate will be far too high. So it's important as well to be able to relax now. And we have 1, 2, 3 more eights of final to come. With the next one being Kangua Cosmo against Team Croatia.
Well, that's gonna be a hell of a ride for sure. Because in the Team Kango, of course, Cosmo, a lot of very experienced coastal rowing, and the Team Croatia is pretty novice to the coastal scene. They're also pretty new to this format of sprinting. Of course, they have Valen Sinkovic, one of the main powerhouses of the whole world, sitting in the boat. But let's just see if they're gonna be able to maintain this lead they built up in the time trials.
Just to remind you, this race will be the 14th time against the 3rd time. So we're really spreading out the times from the time trials. But a surprise is always possible.
I'm pretty sure there are going to be some surprises in this field. You know, it might be this race.
Yeah.
It might be the next one.
And it is also important, therefore, in the time trial to be able to give your best, because it is important. If you are in the best, you will you race against teams that are on paper a little bit less fast. There they go.
And the both team departed. It seems at the moment that Team Kango are just slightly steered a bit to the right. It might distract them a bit, but it seems that both teams departed at the moment pretty clean. There is no clear lead at the moment. Maybe half a meter, but it's absolutely nothing. We see the Croatians pushing with every stroke, just forward and forward, with Valen Sinkovic in the stroke, with his big man, with all those stroke power. They are delivering outstanding performance, just bringing the boat forward and forward, but Team Kango doesn't really let them to go too much in front. They are losing about like 1-2 meters. Absolutely outstanding race.
Yeah, we could see at a certain moment that Valent was looking at the right side because they were just next to the boat, but now he can see them clearly and he can race his race. He's still looking. He knows what to do. It's quite amazing to see him stroking here, huh?
Definitely, and I'm pretty sure that he knows exactly what he does. And as we see that this outcome of this race seems to be decided, it's already 300 meters into the race. Clear lead for Team Croatia.
Yeah, indeed, a very clear lead, and we can see them there coming towards the finish line with still quite high stroke rate for both crews. Maybe it's also a kind of a rehearsal for the next round.
I believe they are just trying to bring a pretty clean victory home so they can concentrate on the next races. But Team Kangawa tries to fight back, but it seems it's just slightly not enough.
No, what a race, what a race. And I think they all deserve our admiration because it's such a tough thing to do these 500 meters in this type of heavy boats.
Well, but the distance between both boats was absolutely much smaller than in the previous rounds. So you see that time trial is one thing, but head-to-head is everything already getting closer and closer. And in every next round, we're gonna have even more closer races.
I agree, from the fourth of final onwards. I completely agree, yes. So, what we saw this, we see these replays there with this powerhouse in front on stroking. Used to race with his brother, and here alone, so it's something new. But also in the silver skiff, they already raced apart. So let's see how it...
I would say that it would be an absolute legendary combination if both brothers would be racing in Monaco next year.
That would be brilliant.
Absolutely, I think dream team.
Yeah.
Try to imagine a team, Lopnik sisters together with
The
Sinkovic
Sinkovic
brothers.
sister. And talking of the Lopnik sisters, they are in the next round. So the next round will be Philippi Performance with Katarina and Magdalena Lopnik, Chris Bach and Davide Mumolo. It's already a dream team against a Swift International with Jessica Berra, Eva Karpinen, Charles Cousins and Eskil Borg. Really, I look forward to this one as well, like all the others.
But if you ask me, those both teams might be really even. I wouldn't say, on the paper, of course, the Swift International, they were far, far behind. But I believe that Charles Cousins and Eskil Borg, they absolutely know how to withstand this pressure and deliver just an outstanding performance, and really might deliver some surprising results.
I look forward to it. Huh? It's two different worlds that are against each other here as well.
As we said, that in the team performance, Filippi, just the most decorated athletes in the coastal world, because Magdalena Lopnik being the world champion in the women's single, Chris Beck being world champion in the men's single, Katarina Lopnik being world champion together with Magdalena in the women's double.
Yeah.
And, you know, Davide Mumolo, the silver medalist from the endurance racing and outstanding flat water rowing in the Team Italia. Just an awesome team.
And there goes the red flag, and they start.
They are already on the way.
Yeah. And it was a clean start for both of them. And yeah, for the moment, there is nothing between the two boats. And maybe a canvas, but really, it's close racing and very recognizable style of Charles Cousins there in place two in this boat.
Absolutely outstanding rowing from the both crews. It seems like Team Filippi just got slightly in front, but the one or 2 meters, and Team Swift just falling a bit back. But I believe in them that they're gonna just unpack some additional watts. Eskil Berg together with Charles Cousins and Eva Karpinen and Jessica Berra, that they gonna deliver something new and something very interesting. Ryan Gleamont, just a famous coxman, just trying to bring and to shot on his team so they perform the best. But it seems that Team Filippi is
already ahead.
Yeah, Team Philippi Performance leading the ranking after day one and confirming here in the eighth final in this head-to-head race with a quite a clear lead now ahead of the team from Swift International. And we have more and more supporters here. We would love to hear them as well.
Well, such a clean rowing by the Team Philippi. We see how well organized is their stroke, and with every stroke that they do together, they move both faster and faster toward the finish. Such a smooth rowing we see here on our pictures. Well, they brought it home, and they already in the next round.
Yeah, it was to expect, but yeah, it was still nice racing. Huh? But next rounds, we will not know what to expect. That's very different from the eighth of final and the way they are organized with the times, the extremes, and coming towards each other. But then in the next ones, it will become very, very tight, even tighter. And we are at the last eighth of a final already, I would say. Unfortunately.
Already, unfortunately. But you know, we have still so many races to go, and it's gonna be just an outstanding day, and it's just at the beginning, because till now we had quite a difference between the performance of all the teams, but the farther we go, the more dense the field gonna become, and the less gaps is the less space for the mistake and for the relaxation is going to be.
And also how you could manage your power, how you could manage the previous rounds, because going into the fourth one, the quarterfinals, it will be your third sprint today.
Yes,
so it's also a question of endurance in a certain way, and this is what we look forward to as well.
This is a very challenging races for the body and for the athletes. And I can imagine that after 2 or 3 races, they are already not feeling themselves anyhow. And that the pure instincts that's gonna pull those boats front.
But they're used to it, I
Definitely.
believe. These are top athletes. They're used to train and train and train and push their bodies as far as they can. They're ready there for the last eighth of final. Team Kangua Galaxy against Team Mission Impossible. Let's see if it is a Mission Impossible for them.
Well, it seems like it's gonna be a complete Mission Impossible, because just to remind you, this is the time trial first time against 16th time. So it seems like Mission Impossible, and well, is it actually what a plan to call their team like that?
Yeah, it was a good choice, huh?
I would say yes. How do you think? If it's Mission Impossible, are they gonna do it?
We wish close racing. Whoever wins, what we want is to see beautiful racing and people enjoying themselves. That's the most important part. Huh? It's a community that is always racing together and against each other. They have a nice environment here to perform. And yeah, let's see. We see the umpire getting the boats ready there.
Well, both
you see
teams.
that they're still trying to line their boats, giving small strokes to have a clear line.
And they're already on the way. We have already, after 2 or 3 strokes, a slight lead for Team Kangua Galaxy. Just a very clean start by those athletes. We see Janneke van der Meulen in front, just, I would say, still seem pretty relaxed, well concentrated, focused on the race, because she knows exactly that there are gonna be additional races to come. So we have already almost a lead over the boat lengths for the Team Galaxy Kangua.
Yeah, indeed. You can see also different way of putting the rowers again. We have at the bow, we have the women, but in front at the stroke, we have on one side Karin Robbers and on the other side a man in the stroke seat.
Well, but you know, I'm pretty sure that Karin Robbers just delivering exactly what they need to to be fast. You know, this comfortable stroke rate, just enjoying their time. And we see Sebastian, who is desperately trying to withstand this pressure delivered by the Team Kangua. Well, it's mission impossible, but you know, but they are delivering a very decent race till now, and we are already approaching about 100-meter mark till the finish with a slight lead for the Team Kangua.
Yeah, exactly. A lead of about 1 boat length and a little bit more, which is not that much if you compare it to the times, because as you said, it was the first against the 16th time. So they performed really well the Mission Impossible here.
They definitely did. They tried, they made their move, and you know, they fought like a lions and fall down like a heroes. That's okay.
So, wow.
That was
racing at its best.
Yes.
But it's only a beginning. We'll have even better races, I believe, now. And now you don't know what to expect, really. It will be even more tight racing for all of them. And the next race is already in 4 minutes.
In 4 minutes. Well, it's gonna be interesting, and it's even more interesting.
Yeah, there is a slight delay here in the start, and as soon as we know that the action will start again, we'll come back to you. And you see that they are getting ready for the first quarter of final. So we'll have 4 quarters of finals, of course, with here in this first one, Team Filippi Côte d'Azur against Team Kangua Italia. That means Elodie Ravera Scaramontino, Corta Antonielli, Gabi Soares, Gaia Umbracevini and the Cox Tomaubel against Mathilde Barison, Guglielmo Melagari, Giulia Miniemmi, Giovanni Melegari and the Cox Fabio Siracusa.
Like, for me.
Oui, oui, ça c'est bon.
Une erreur de trajectoire, ils auraient gêné l'autre bateau.
Ok, merci. Ouais. C'est exclu. Il faut excuser.
Lesquels excuses
Team Filippi Elite.
Il y a eu une réclamation qui a été déposée.
So it seems they didn't take the line, and they were, yeah, the others couldn't do their way, so they were excluded. There was a Okay, and here we go with the first quarter of the final. Team Filippi Côte d'Azur and Team Kangua Italia. What a start of both crews here. Look at that power. Every stroke, they push as much as they can, and they're nearly leveled.
Absolutely no lead for nor of the teams. Both teams performing their best, and they know that quarterfinal is already very close racing. Both teams just trying stroke by stroke, just come a bit closer to the finish line. And we see that Côte d'Azur is already fighting to withstand this pressure delivered from the Team Kangua. I think from this perspective, Team Kangua might be in a slight lead, about half a meter, but it's absolutely not decided yet.
No, we saw in the previous one that they were very good in the second part of the race, and let's see whether they can come back. It's also the time to manage your strengths and to give it. You can't keep anything. If you want to go to the next one, it's now that you have to deliver.
The Côte d'Azur really challenged right now by the Team Kangua. We saw how powerful strokes of Team Kangua are. It seems a slight lead for the Team Kangua. They're maintaining, but Côte d'Azur, they are coming
yeah, we don't know exactly where the line is, so it is difficult to see. And they're closing to the line. It will be really not even a meter between the two, but who will it be?
It seems like Team Kangua brought it home.
It seems like, yeah. But let's wait for the official result. And the more we will advance, the more it will be difficult to know who did it and who will not proceed to the next time. But we very quickly have the result here. And it is indeed Team Kangua Italia who will proceed to the next round with 28 hundredths of a second lead on the team
In this case,
Côte d'Azur,
absolutely
which is
nothing.
really nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And we saw, like, just to remind you that Team Côte d'Azur was, in this case, the favorite for this race. And the Team Kangua just delivered an outstanding performance, an outstanding race, and just got slightly in front of those Philippe team.
Yeah, and beautiful replays. But you see that there was a bigger gap. Team Kangua had a clearer lead, but then Philippe Côte d'Azur tried to come back, but it was maybe a little bit too short. Maybe they started to push a little bit too late, but it was really impressive.
Well, that is exactly the essence of this sprint racing, that every stroke counts, every little second, every tenth of every hundredth of a second, and you know, every stroke that you can make your boat faster and bring it just a slight lead over the opponent, just to win those essential centimeters to win, is unimaginable.
And you still hear with the replays, with the beautiful shots from the drones here that give you a good impression of how beautiful rowing at its best can be. Look at this.
The aerial view just shows you that it was less than 20 centimeters between those both teams.
And now we will have the second quarter of a final, which will be the Dutch Lions Swift against Team Croatia. And you might wonder what happens, because we had the impression that the Dutch Lions were the runner-ups in the previous round. Actually, we were informed that Team Philippe Elite was excluded from the race because it seemed they didn't keep their lane, and that was a little bit of a problem for the Dutch Lions. So we have here the Dutch Lions against Croatia, and they started. So a lot of Olympic champions in this race. From Paris, we have 4 in this race.
Yes.
Incredible.
Incredible race, and they are already on the way. We see Walen Sinkovic delivering outstanding stroke rate for his team. Just looking at giving a slight view to the right in order to see where those Lions are. But Lions seems to be in a slight lead over the Team Croatia. Such a clean rowing by the Dutch team. They have a bit slightly complication with the steering, and it gives additional opportunity for the Team Croatia to get back. And we see that both crews at the moment are even.
But now you see the power speaking, and it seems that Team Croatia is going. You can see also some shouting there in the boat, helping each other to give everything, to push as hard as they can. And there is not a huge difference between the two boats, as you can expect from these top rowers.
Absolutely not, no difference between those crews. They are pushing themselves to the limit in order to make it to the next round and to fight then for the medals. It seemed like Team Croatia just a slight win, but Dutch Lions are not giving up, and they're building their stroke rate up and trying to come back and to deliver this outstanding sprint in the end.
It will be exciting to see up to the last strokes, but it seems from our perspective that it is Team Croatia who took the win here ahead of the Dutch Lions Swift team. But what a race again, Yuri. We are so happy and we are so lucky to be here.
And to witnessing all those racing. Well, I would say that was a very close race, and first of all, between the really top elite athletes in the flat water rowing.
You can't dream of a better lineup, huh?
But in the coastal boat and on the short distance.
Yeah.
Completely different world, totally different conditions. And as we see that the Dutch Lions got the first strokes into the lead, but Team Croatia didn't lose this connection and just fought back, made a comeback, and just pulled it over in the last 50 meters and delivered a outstanding result and moved forward in the next round.
But you have different styles there, it seems. You had, on the one hand, the power, and on the other hand, it was much faster and really trying. And you could see these different styles. It gave the opportunity to the Dutch Lions to have a very quick start, while the others came back with powerful strokes. Pas grave, c'est bon.
Because I asked.
Ja, but they can ask me whether I want it or not.
Race is about to start between Team Filippi performance against Lithuanian rowing team. This is gonna be a clash.
Again, yeah, another clash.
And they're already on the way. The Lithuanians against Team Filippi. Such an amazing race to come, and we see that both teams departed very quickly without any mistakes, and both crews are already on the way with those powerful strokes. We see Chris Beck just pulling it, very dynamic, followed up by Katarina Lobnik. But it seems at the moment that Lithuanians are not behind. They might even be slightly in front.
Yeah, and they're recognizable with the green boat, which is normal for the Lithuanians. But look at this, look at the faces. These are perfect shots to have all the intensity of the rowing here. They row quite small, quite short strokes there, trying to keep this very heavy boat running.
Well, Team Filippi built up a slight lead, about 2 meters in front. They're already halfway on the course. They are trying to maintain this lead, maybe to build it a bit more up, but Lithuanians not giving up and fighting back and trying to make this comeback. They have the power, they have the watts, so they just have to pull, and the Martina, she's just trying to rise this stroke rate up, but Team Filippi doesn't let them this space to fight back.
And it is really top rowing here. You see the lead. We expected the leading team in the ranking at the moment to take some more points here. Doing this, they are going towards the win of the Challenge Prince Albert II, and a few more strokes for them to qualify for the semi-final.
Well,
there they are.
That was a clean win for the Team Filippi. The Lithuanians, they fought bravely. They fought like a lions. But unfortunately, it just quite not enough. And we see in the faces of team performance, Filippi team performance, that this was not an easy ride. We see the exhaustion in their faces. So about tactics, there is absolutely no space for tactics.
Not anymore.
Absolutely not.
And if everything goes well, it's two more rounds for them. Semi-final and then the final. So can you imagine how they feel in the boat for the moment? What are they thinking?
Well, I think that the first thought they might have is just to, well, we have to recover, just, you know, to find this the space to breathe. So I believe they just gonna go for a little paddle, you know, like communicate in the team what they might do better, what was good, what was not so successful. and then just to try to find the connection to the next races.
Yeah. And we see them going out of the harbor to have that light paddle. And the condition outside the harbor are really very smooth as well. So they can't hurt themselves doing this. There are no waves, so no risk to have a slight problem. So they continue doing this as much as they can.
Such a northern weather today in comparison to yesterday, where it was cloudy, almost rainy, very windy, almost cold. Today is a sunny day here in Monaco, and I think that we are very lucky to have this weather at this time of the year. Just you know, it brings joy into the community, and for the spectators it's just more enjoyable to stand here to watch the races and to support their favorites.
But I must say I'm happy that we had the endurance races yesterday, because it was more choppy, and this is also what we look for, real coastal conditions. So I don't know whether it's Sunday vote or if everybody has a connection, because yesterday it were perfect conditions for coastal rowing, and today for the sprint it is also perfect conditions.
Absolutely. Well, the last quarterfinal is about to start, and it's gonna be between the Team Kangua Galaxy and Team Filippi Italia. Well, the favorites definitely are the Team Kangua Galaxy, but you know, the talents is definitely a wild card, so they can perform at the highest level. Well, let's see the outcome. It stays very exciting, because just to remind you, it's already the quarterfinals. And
the last one.
The next round is already semi-final, so this is a round of top 8, and the another is already top 4.
I'm always a little bit surprised to see the lining here. Some of them seem to be not really in a straight line, so the cocks have a difficult job as well. If we see that one crew was excluded as well, so they have to keep certain things. They're not ready to start yet, as you can see from the oars, although now they are putting themselves in a starting position. You can see that they're still trying to get their boat straight to be able to take a clean start. If you don't have to push or to touch your steering, it's better, because every time you have to steer, you lose some centimeters. So it's also very important to have that clean and straight start.
We see all this tension between those athletes, and they already departed. And as we see, there is a slight lead for the Team Kangua. Very clean start, very clean stroke. The first 2 strokes were just essential to bring this boat forward and to put them in clear lead over the Team Italia.
Yeah, and they already take a quite comfortable lead with 100 meters that were rowed. It's 3/4 of a boat length lead here for that very experienced and medals in the Team Kangua Galaxy. And they are also well positioned in the final ranking, so we'll have to look at it.
Well, as we saw yesterday, that the Team Galaxy was on place 3 behind the Team Filippi Côte d'Azur and Team Filippi Performance, leading the ranking. And Team Galaxy, just to remind you, was not that far behind the Team Filippi.
No, we saw yesterday that everything was still possible, and it shows here.
Definitely. And we see that the performance of this team right now, already about 100 meters before the finish line, is just outstanding. And they are already moving their boat absolutely safely forward and moving themselves into the next round.
Yeah, without having to fight too much. Not like we had one round that was really tough there. And here we have the impression that it is a little bit more relaxed for them. So, yeah, what will it give in the semi-final? A win again for Kangua Galaxy ahead of Team Filippi Italia. Look at this, continue paddling, never stop, continue to have some movement so that you don't get stiff, because you know you still have at least one, and they all hope for 2 more rounds to go.
Very solid win for Team Kangua. We see their faces, they are staying focused, not losing this control over the situation. Maybe they exchange some very important team internal information, what might even work better. But as we see, that was just a very clean start, putting them into the lead from the very front and bringing it to the very end.
Yeah, and I really look forward to the semi-final there. It's gonna be so tough racing, and we have the honor to have Son Altesse Sérénissime, le Prince Albert II, who is watching the races from a boat here. He knows everything about rowing. His grandfather was an Olympic champion in Paris 100 years ago exactly. So, and he is still, he has been rowing here, even in the Nate at a certain regatta, if you remember. I don't know whether you were there, but his heart is very close to rowing.
Well, I think that just underlines how important this sport for the Monegasque people and how well connected is actually this is to Monegasque culture. And this is, you know, some very important connection for the sport and also for all the rowers in the city.
And we have about 6 minutes to the next start. So we'll come back when we are closer to the start. Oui, on vous parlait de son Altesse Sérénissime, le Prince Albert II et son cœur qui bat pour l'aviron. Et vous le voyez, il est là sur un bateau au départ pour regarder les équipes. Et là, on voit une très belle vue également de son palais. On est très heureux que ce challenge porte son nom exactement et qu'il nous fait toujours l'honneur de venir voir les courses. Et il attend comme nous, avec impatience, le départ de la première des deux demi-finales. So we're waiting for the start of the first of the two semi-finals. And yeah, excitement goes on. The stress is really getting further and further. Two top teams here, Team Philippi Performance, Katarina and Magdalena Löbning, Chris Bag, Davide Mumollo and Alvaro Miralles de Cox, against Team Croatia with Ivana Jurkovic, Dino Rupšić, Maja Cornu d'Anjou, of course, Valen Sinkovic, and their cox from Monaco, Clara Staffanelli.
That's gonna be absolutely outstanding race because I believe two strongest teams already meeting in the semi-final. This is gonna be clash of the titans.
Yeah, they're lining up. We're waiting for the starter to to raise the red flag. When the red flag is raised, and they can wait for the start. It's always a little bit a difference in time. It can go very fast between the moment the red flag is raised and pulled on, or it can take a little bit more time just to make sure that everybody has the same chances here. And yeah, we didn't see full starters yet. I shouldn't say this maybe because it might be that we have one here, but I don't believe so. Those are so experienced rowers that we can assume it will be clean, and it is a clean start. There they go, Team Philippi Performance, Team Croatia.
Well, there is a bit cleaner start by the Team Philippi that bring them just in a slight lead over Team Croatia. But as we see from the aerial picture, there is absolutely no gap in between those both teams. It's about like 20 centimeters, but it's absolutely nothing. Team Croatia fight the favorite team just like a lions. Unbelievable performance by them.
Yeah, it's nothing between the two teams, and we saw already that there are different tactiques, and some are a little bit stronger in the second part, and some are a little bit stronger in the first part, but it seems that Team Philippi Performance is taking the lead here.
But this lead is almost nothing because it's less than a meter between those both crews. Team Croatia seems to fall a bit back, and Team Performance, Philippi Performance, just getting in the slight lead. Magdalena Löbning together with her sister and Chris Back and David Mumolo just moving their boat in front and trying to move forward to the final A in order to fight for the gold medal later this day. Just such a clear lead for them.
Yeah, very clear lead, and also did give them another chance to have a lot of points for the final ranking. They were already leading after the first day of competition, and they take an option here to the win in this race as well. Look at this, and it's a win for Philippi Performance ahead of Croatia.
Such a clean race by the Team Philippi. We see that that was not an easy ride, but this was a very solid result, very solid race with a clear outcome. And just to give you a little update on the weather, the wind just gets a bit stronger, so the teams are confronted by the headwind. And it's, you know, they already have at least 4 races behind them in the final. So it's gonna be even harder in the final to compete at the best result because the boat gets heavier, the strokes are getting heavier. But I believe that the adrenaline of competing in those waters just gonna give them additional power.
And also, they're not finished, because in this race, it's not a knockout, because we will have an A final and a B final. So both teams will have to do one more race. And we see them going out for a slide paddle and trying to concentrate on that next step in this race. It is really outstanding to see all these athletes here and what they put into this competition.
Really very remarkable field, and we experience at the moment the top 2 teams out of the top 4 teams here on the course. That was a long day with a lot of outstanding racing. Such a remarkable results going through the time trial, 8th of the final, quarter-final, and now in the semi-final delivering such a solid performance. And there is only one race that separates us from the very first final, and this race gonna be deciding for the teams who gonna be fighting and continuing the fight for the gold medal.
Look at the expressions in the boat. It really says a lot about the intensity of the effort for these athletes. These are really trained athletes, but nevertheless, it is a tough way of rowing as well. You're used to this sometimes when you're training because you do so many 500 meters and so on. But here it's not the same because it's in heavy boats. You have the cocks, you have the conditions, and now you have the wind.
And just to remind that most of those teams are internationally built up, so those people actually never rowed together, and to find in this short period of time exactly those essential marks, how to achieve the best performance with the team first of all, is just, you know, remarkable.
And we see already the second semi-final lining up there with 2 Kangua teams against each other. It is Team Kangua Italia with Matilde Barrison, Guglielmo Melegari, Giulia Miniemi, Giovanni Melegari and Fabio Siracusa, their cocks, against Team Kangua Galaxy with Janneke van der Meulen, Adrian Miramon, Jan van der Bij, Karin Roberts and Diuke Vetter, their cocks. And you can see they try to line up again, taking their best possible position to be ready when the red flag will go up and down again.
The last preparation before the start, such a tension at the starting line, what we see here, because both team knows that the loser gonna go in the final B and might not receive the medal, and the winner gonna go and proceed on their way to the gold medal.
There is one word I don't like is loser. I have the impression there are no losers here. I would prefer saying runner-ups because there's such performance and there they go. So I really, all my heart is with both teams, that they go to the A final or the B final.
But as we know, this is sport, so there's gonna be only one winner and one contender that's gonna just go a bit lower in the ranking.
Yeah.
And we see those mighty powerful strokes by the Team Kangua Galaxy. Janneke van der Meulen, super concentrated, focused on her race. Miramon Quiroga just you know, either in the boat, trying to maintain those watts and to bring this boat forward. Already a clear lead for the Team Kangua Galaxy.
And look at the difference in stroke rate. It is quite impressive to see the stroke rate of Kangua Galaxy with Janneke van der Meulen. It's really quick. It seems so smooth in the water. Nevertheless, a very heavy boat. And here you have the impression it's a little bit tougher to get the boat running.
Well, but you know, the Team Galaxies, they're entering this race as the favorites, and they know that the Team Filippi performance in the final gonna be absolutely not an easy opponent to beat, and that's why, if it's possible, if it's somehow possible, just to save additional energy for the final, But still, this race is not decided yet. They are in slight lead, but Team Kangua Italia not giving up till the last meters. And as we see, there is a difference only of 1 or 1.5 meters. So
half a boat length, yeah, between the two. And we see them now crossing. It's nearly a full boat length, but it is a win for what we expected to be Galaxy.
Absolutely remarkable race what we saw here, and Team Galaxy gonna confront the Team Filippi in the final A.
Yeah, and the time is shorter and shorter between the rounds, so it's even more difficult every time. So I guess they will have a very short paddle before they have to go back to the start again.
We have about 20 minutes to the final A, 15 minutes to the final B. So I would say it's enough time to recover, but you gotta feel the races before, so you're not really completely fresh.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure that those athletes of this level are really capable to withstand this pressure, as well physical, as well emotional, as mental. And they're gonna perform their best, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna try to get this gold medal and to become the sprint champions of the Monaco competition 2024.
And we will come back to you when the B final is about to start. and we are live again with the B final here in this race, and you can see that you have here two top crews again, but yeah, they are at the start for the thing. It is Team Croatia again, Team Kangua Italia here. Again, this will be an interesting race with these top crews. And afterwards, it will be the pinnacle of this event with the A final of the sprint.
It's definitely gonna be like that, and those crews already fighting for the medal, for the bronze medal, and you know, one of the winners of this race gonna have a medal, the other one not. So the stakes are really high, and we are happy to see them performing the best they can. And you know, the condition getting a bit rougher because, as I mentioned before, the wind starts to blow a bit harder, and you know, this is a headwind, so it might be that the heavier, the more powerful crew might be the faster one.
But we will see as well the stroke rate, because if you are able, you're lighter, but you're able to have a higher stroke rate, it can also be something important, because these heavy boats, you have to keep them running. So you have the two possibilities. Either it's your weight that helps you, or your stroke rate that can go harder. Although I think they're already performing at the highest stroke rate they can from the start of these time trials this morning.
I would say, from the races we saw already today, Italy, the Team Kangua Italy performed very well. I really loved their stroke rate, their stroke dynamics. And the Team Croatia had a bit more stable one, but very controlling one, although it was very powerful, so to mention. But still, the Italians, they rode with the heart. You know, they were just throwing those oars, throwing this water, just, you know, trying to get with every little stroke, just a bit in front, and let's see how they're gonna perform for this medal race.
And also Italians are known for their high stroke rates. Also in classic rowing, sometimes they're so impressive, and you think you can't do this for 2,000 meters, but yes, they can. And then when they come in the final 200, it's just impossible. It is amazing. So let's see what will happen here.
Final preparation. Already in the run, we see the communication inside the team. The teams are already focused for their race. They're trying to concentrate to find the rests of the energy, because those are, for those crews, those are already the last races of the weekend. And you know, those actually almost the last race in general for this event.
And also, it's an event that is at the back of the season, at the end of the season, and this also means that they already maybe had a little break, and they might have another one here, but they will enter the very long winter training now, which is so essential to build up all the power and the strength you will need in next season, in 2025. And as we are post-Olympic year, it will be interesting to see the crews, how they will reform, who will stay, who will go. We see also a lot of movements in the coaches for the moment. So it's an interesting year, 2025.
I would say for the most of the racers and for the most of the athletes, this event gonna be the last one for this year. And they definitely also in the head thinking, oh well, we have to perform well because it's our last race for the season 2024. Well, a lot of pressure, a lot of tension, and it's soon gonna be, we're gonna discover who gonna be the bronze medalist of this challenge.
Indeed, and the points will be important as well for the final ranking here, because they will get, maybe they will jump some places in the final ranking with this event. We can see they prepare, they try to get their boat straight, and anxiously waiting for the starter to give the start and release every single thing they still have in them, because this is the final race for them for the bronze medal.
I just want to use this opportunity and to underline this absolutely picturesque scenery what we have in the background, with all those yachts and all this city facade what you have in the back, even with the nature, because you have mountains in the back, you have see such a nice scenery. Just to remind you that in the Team Kangua is Matilda Parison. Matilda Parison, Guglielmo Melegari, Giulio Mignemi, Giovanni Melegari and Fabio Siracusa against Team Croatia with Valentinko Dino Rupic, Ivana Jurkovic, Maja Kornat and Kornat Danjo, and they are already on the way.
And they started a clean start, and look, a very, very fast start for Kangua Italia there, with, as we already saw in previous races, not such a quick start, but very powerful strokes afterwards for Team Croatia, who then make them their way and come back on the opponents. Will it be the same this time? We cannot really tell yet.
At the moment, there is a slight lead for the Team Kangua Italy, and they are trying to maintain this lead and to build it a bit more up. But let's not forget that in the other boat there is a legend, Valentinkovic, who is trying to his best to deliver the best result, and they are already, I think, coming even back, because there is on the half a mark. It's less than 1 meter between those two boats. It's gonna be a very close finish, I have the feeling.
Yeah, that's what we saw in other races as well. Team Croatia trying to come back, giving all the power they have in their boat. Team Kangua here is a little bit lighter as a team, and they might face more difficulties with the headwind that they have here. It's gonna be a close finish. I hope the photo finish is not too tired, because they had so many to take.
It's absolutely amazing. It's about 50 meters to go, but it's still not decided who is gonna be in front. And it seems like Team Kangua Italy just slide ahead, but Team Croatia is not giving up, and they're fighting till the very end. Who's gonna be the first in the mark? Team Kangua Italy is getting this bronze medal.
Yeah, what a race again here in this B final. And you saw, and what is very nice as well is the signs of respect in between the two boats here. They show, and look at Prince Albert here, looking from close up to these wonderful athletes. He was in Paris as well at the Olympic Games, and he saw some of them competing there. And it must be really nice for him as well to see that the Challenge Prince Albert, with his name, can bring all those top athletes to his Monaco.
Such an amazing race we experience right now. Early lead for the Team Kangua, and very nice comeback and fight back from the Team Croatia. Just even them up and fight till the very end. But the Team Kangua Italy just had this slight additional advantage, slight more watts at the end, maybe building up the stroke rate just slightly by 1 or 2 strokes per minute higher, and that made them the bronze medalists of this event today.
Yeah, we saw that the competitors from the A final are already there. They're watching this, they are concentrating, and they would love to already give it a go. I believe the tension must be higher, and you see they are under the orders of the starter. We have their Team Filippi performance, Katarina Lobnik, Chris Bach, Davide Mummolo, Magdalena Lobnik, and Alvarez Miralles. Against Team Kangua Galaxy, Janneke van der Meulen, Adrian Mirman, Jan van der Bij, Karen Roberts, and Dielke Vetter. I would like to know what goes through their heads at this moment.
I'm very sure that those teams are actually the opponents not only in this field but as well at the World Championships. They confronted each other already many times, so there are a lot of still open things that they want to clarify between themselves. And as we see, they already lined up for this final event of the Prince Albert Tour Challenge 2024.
And I must say, time flies. We're already at the last race, unfortunately. But I guess that the rowers must be happy. It's the last race on the one hand, because they must be so tired. It must be so tough. And on the other hand, they must be a little bit sorry that it's the end of this beautiful moment they can share here in Monaco at the Challenge Prince Albert II.
As we see the both crews already in their start holes and taking the last breath before they depart toward the gold medal.
Look at this concentration. It is really, and there they go. This is the most important race of today, especially as well for the final ranking.
Well, both teams already in the way. We see that Team Kangua Galaxy leading this race already by almost a half a boat length. But I'm pretty sure that those guys from Filippi team, they're gonna build it up and deliver some additional watts in order to catch those incredible athletes from Team Kangua.
Yeah, quite astonishing. What a start. You would not expect to have such a difference. So is it really a tactique to go as fast as you can and see how far you can keep this strength and this power, and see your opponents because it's always a good thing to be able to see them and react.
There is absolutely no other option as to give it all, to deliver all the bots you can basically imagine. And we see on those faces of those athletes a level of exhaustion on this short period of time. And the Team Filippi, they're not giving up. They're just trying.
Let's also say that Team Galaxy is more used to row together, and with the efforts that they already did, that can be an advantage. And they have now 3/4 of a boat length lead on the team from Filippi Performance.
Very clean race from the Team Kangua, and that bring them into the gold medal position. Are they gonna be able to maintain this lead and to win this gold medal?
And it is a win for Kangua Galaxy. What a team, but what a team as well in Filippi Performance. Really outstanding. What a way to finish this sprint tournament.
Just such an exciting race. Well, Team Galaxy just had this essential perfect start what they needed to compete against Team Performance Filippi, and they made it. They made it work. They made the start work. They did the very good race in the middle, and they maintained the lead to the very end. So the gold medalists of today's day in this sprint challenge are Janneke van der Meulen, Adrian Miramon Quiroga, Karin Roberts, and Jan van der Bij.
Look at this, you can see the exhaustion on the faces of all those rowers. Look at Adrian Mirman. I hardly saw him that exhausted here. It is so tough, but still smiling. All of them are smiling. Team Philippi performance as well. You see the faces, the smiles, the incredible relaxation now after this race.
What a spirit, what is the atmosphere for this final race. And we are happy to call the Team Galaxy the winners of this sprint finals and the Challenge 2024.
And I'm looking forward to the final ranking, because this might have changed certain things in the ranking, and we will know this in about an hour when we will have the prize giving ceremony. But before we close up here, I would like to thank you, Yuri. It was a nice thing to do this in a duo. I want to thank all the volunteers who have been working so hard to put this together. I want to thank all the spectators who came to us and watched. I want to thank, je veux remercier Son Altesse Sérénissime le Prince Albert II pour sa présence, and everybody who contributed, the partners, the committee, and so on. Thank you, merci, vous êtes exceptionnels.
Le prince Albert Ier de Monaco s'est dévoué corps et âme au développement des sciences de la mer. Né marin, il est resté toute sa vie.
C'est en 1906 que le prince Albert Ier, l'un des plus ardents promoteurs de l'océanographie moderne, crée l'Institut océanographique, fondation reconnue d'utilité publique. Navigateur passionné et défenseur visionnaire des sciences au service de la paix et du progrès, il souhaite concevoir un outil au service de la connaissance de l'océan. Le musée océanographique de Monaco voit le jour en 1910. Et un an plus tard, la Maison de l'Océan ouvre ses portes au cœur du quartier latin, à 2 pas de la Sorbonne et du Panthéon. Ces 2 établissements emblématiques permettent aujourd'hui encore à l'Institut océanographique de mener sa mission de connexion entre l'homme et l'océan, en rassemblant la communauté scientifique, les décideurs et le grand public. La Maison de l'Océan est aussi un hub dédié à l'océan et à l'environnement, rassemblant décideurs politiques et économiques et acteurs de la société civile. Le musée océanographique est un lieu de culture et d'échange avec le grand public, où convergent les expériences autour de la protection de l'océan à travers ses collections, ses expositions et son aquarium. Dans la droite ligne de l'engagement du prince Albert II pour la protection de l'océan et de la nature, des événements fédérateurs sont organisés avec nos partenaires, le gouvernement princier, la Fondation Prince Albert II ou le Centre scientifique de Monaco. Par exemple, la présentation du rapport spécial du GIEC sur l'océan et la cryosphère face au changement climatique au musée océanographique. La Monaco Blue Initiative est une plateforme de prospective et d'initiative et offre un cadre unique d'échange. Entrepreneurs, scientifiques, politiques et acteurs du secteur privé préparent ensemble la gestion durable et la conservation de l'océan. Les grandes médailles Albert Ier récompensent chaque année de grandes personnalités qui, par leur engagement et leurs travaux, contribuent à faire connaître, aimer et protéger l'océan. Pour émerveiller et mobiliser ses 650 000 visiteurs annuels, le musée océanographique de Monaco propose une expérience unique, combinant le vivant, l'art et la science, aujourd'hui complétés par les dernières technologies numériques. À l'instar de Monaco et l'océan, un espace digital dédié à l'engagement des princes de Monaco en faveur de la protection du monde marin, et d'immersion, un dispositif interactif, point d'orgue de l'exposition Mission polaire permettant aux visiteurs de plonger à la rencontre des espèces emblématiques des pôles. En dévoilant la beauté et la richesse du monde marin, l'Institut océanographique fait naître l'intérêt et l'engagement en faveur de l'océan. Près d'1,5 million de personnes pourraient ainsi être sensibilisées aux enjeux des régions polaires, soit près d'1 demi-million de jeunes. Ce concours, destiné aux collégiens issus de milieux défavorisés et réseaux d'éducation prioritaire, accompagne les classes et leurs professeurs dans la découverte du monde marin, afin de leur permettre de concrétiser un projet collectif, créatif et engagé en faveur de l'océan. Le Club Océano propose aux plus jeunes une semaine de jeux et d'activités centrées sur l'océan et les animaux qui les peuplent, afin de les sensibiliser à sa protection. Aussi, investi depuis de nombreuses années dans des actions de conservation et de reproduction à travers son centre monégasque de soins des espèces marines, l'Institut